And welcome to the No Assembly Required podcast, a podcast where we talk about nothing. And where we are now going to be going live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time ish, because we have an announcement about another content creator that we'll get to later in the program. But for now, enjoy your trio of hosts, starting with Romina-saurus, wow! And your second host, Audrey Firefox Ember, and your third and final host, the Dark Lord of the Internet himself, the cure for all things, Roberto Blake. Welcome to the No Assembly Required podcast, filmed in front of a live YouTube audience. Please like and subscribe. Do all the things.
We definitely need to get a soundboard. I want that sound that Roberto just did. The dinosaur thing as one of them.
Yeah, we want to be able to replicate that.
Yes.
The cure for all things. Really, Roberto? Indeed.
Indeed.
Yeah. And I think it's important to mention that we are not sponsored by Firefox.
Yeah, why was I Firefox? Firefox is awful. Do people still use Firefox?
It is exclusive.
See what I did?
It is exclusively what I use.
See what I did there?
What?
Wait, you guys seriously?
You need to be using Chrome. Like,
no,
this is unacceptable.
No. F Chrome.
Whoa, why?
That got aggressive. See what I did?
Whoa. Why though? Like, I feel like Chrome is just the one that everyone uses because it's better.
And when was the last time you used Firefox?
Many years ago for good reason.
Listen.
It's outdated. No one uses Firefox
What do you mean
anymore.
how is a browser outdated? What do you mean by that?
It just is. I don't know what to tell you.
I use Firefox exclusively. The only reason that I use Chrome,
that's like saying you use Safari.
I don't use Safari, but I use
like
Firefox.
One step over.
Firefox is great.
Safari,
I like it.
Firefox, and then
are you
Chrome.
gonna keep trash talking me, or is the defense allowed to step up?
Fine.
All right. See, Diaz in the chat has my back.
No, yeah, but he said it.
What do you mean?
It's not too bad. That's not a very.
He said it's still good. All right. Let me
see what I did. This is literally the most.
Look
at this.
This is the
Michelle,
most
look.
we've ever gotten Audrey to talk in the first 5 minutes of the show.
No. I remember in high school, people were like, "You got to get off Firefox. Like, it's done."
Yeah, well, they're a bunch of kids. They don't know anything.
It's been 4 years since then.
Wow, you're gonna blow out your microphone. You're literally gonna blow out your microphone. All right. Look, can I explain? Look, it's been like 2 minutes.
Currently, I'm in the minority here for this.
This
all
is
right,
amazing.
let me explain. Firefox. I like Firefox because
I use Firefox. I just roasted everyone.
Yeah, you did. You made your
alienated the whole audience.
Our entire audience.
Or maybe I'm doing them a favor.
If we ever had a chance of being sponsored by Firefox.
Oh, good riddance.
Wow. Yeah, we just flatlined that. We just flatlined that opportunity. Listen, Firefox is great. It's been really great for me. I made the switch. Freaking Roberto's over here, like, just flaunting his wrath. I made the switch to Firefox like 2.5 years ago. From using nothing, from like just like being on everything, like Safari, Chrome, Firefox, all of the things.
All right.
So I made the switch and I was like, I'm going to use Firefox exclusively. And it's been great. The reason that I chose Firefox is because the design is very minimal and it's clean. It is the thinnest browser window experience. Plus, I love the way that I can customize the browser window and have like my icons up at the top. And there's just a lot of things that I can't do in any other platform. Next, they're also really great with security, and they are, I think they are the fastest browser. They're right up there with Chrome, depending on what website you visit, but they're very fast at loading. It's a very great user experience.
Well,
Plus,
I just looked it up and found an article that says Google Chrome is better.
You know, it was written by you, Audrey. It was written by you.
No.
All right. You know, if you want to be like everybody else, that's your prerogative.
All right.
See, I'm like Apple. Think different.
Okay.
Oh, did you just eye roll at me? Oh,
no.
Lord.
No.
All right. Don't pay attention to that comment in the chat. Roberto, do you have anything to say?
I have nothing to contribute to this conversation whatsoever. I'm just gonna let you fight.
Which one do you use, Roberto?
Let them fight. I use Chrome. I use all things Google. I am part of the Google ecosystem.
He's in the Google
I'm part of the Google.
But he has like an Android. He's got like all the stuff.
Do you use Yahoo Mail?
No. How dare you?
But he
used to. I used to back in the day.
He uses Yahoo Group.
No.
I just thought like Firefox and Yahoo Mail kind of have the same vibe.
Oh, just FYI for the live viewing audience, this is all my prop money that I use for like photos and for like demonstration purposes.
I have a question, Roberto.
Yes.
Have you ever burnt it?
No, I have a plan for that. I have to do but I have to really nail that one because like
you should collab with Audrey Ember.
Oh my god. I can provide the flames. Roberto can provide
She is, after all, Audrey Firefox.
No.
You may now only refer to her
We've
as
been fighting
Audrey
about
Firefox
this for
Ember.
7 minutes.
You may now only refer
Excuse me,
to
I am
her
not fighting. I am
as
defending myself.
Yeah. You may now only refer to her by royal decree from your overlord as Audrey Firefox Ember.
All right.
By royal decree.
All right.
So, what exactly are we talking about today? What's
childhood dreams?
Yeah, I thought it'd be fun because Roberto, we were talking a little bit about it, like when you were doing your nature photography last week or this week.
This past weekend, yeah.
So, yeah, I thought it might be fun. I think we talked about like something similar before, but not like childhood.
But not like specifically. I mean, we've hinted at it. I mean, it's come up in other of our conversations. Like, part of what prompted this, like, Romina, actually, do you mind doing me a huge favor? Can you, for the live viewing audience, and this is why for the audio only listeners, you need to come watch us on youtube.com/noassemblypod. And you also need to be part of the live audience on Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But Romina, can you do me a favor and pull up my Instagram?
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you. But yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw you posted them on your Instagram.
Yeah, I posted some of those shots. So for those of you who don't know what Audrey is talking about is this past weekend, because I'm borrowing the Sony Alpha 1 from Sony and Lens Rentals. They lent it to me for some YouTube content and Instagram content. Totally free, but not sponsored. So this camera shoots 50 megapixels and 8K. So I'm doing all the things with it. And Audrey was kind enough to help me shoot B-roll while I photographed with this. And we went to Zoo Atlanta. And Romina, if you click on the one where I'm in the hoodie and I have the huge lens, because that's the big boy lens. That's the 100 to 400 millimeter. So that shot of me, Audrey got that shot of me, and then I went on to get these wonderful shots at Zoo Atlanta of all the exotic animals. If you want to scroll through that real quick, Romina. So there, tiger.
Oh, look at that.
Yep, flamingo.
Sultry flamingo.
Yep. Got some birds. We got the king of the jungle, the tiger. So
he was like right at us.
Dead on, yeah, straight up.
Yeah, and he was hungry.
And then Romina, there's another series.
Y'all were looking like chicken nuggets.
Oh my.
Like,
and then Romina, there's another series of these photos. If you click on the one
rhino?
with the rhino there, yeah, the one that was harder for me to get any love for on Instagram, even though I led with the actual thing that I'm passionate about, led with the actual photos. You know, when people say, let your work speak for itself, like they're full of shit. Like,
oh yeah. I mean, I've gotten a lot of that too. That's
but yeah, these are my shots, and yeah, like these
that's
were
what I look like when I yawn too.
Right.
Aw. Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah. So, you know, there was some really good stuff there, and like we had a great time, but I communicated to Audrey that one of my childhood dreams was to photograph or film for National Geographic. Like, and so I actually am planning to submit these shots to Nat Geo and see what happens. And I tag them because they actually do have like a photo contest thing for social media. But I'm actually going to do everything to literally get these in front of people at National Geographic. And I'm going to probably even consider going this weekend to the zoo again and trying and shoot some more stuff. But
yeah, that's really the best way to do it. You know, you got to start somewhere. And it's like, you might not be able to be in the jungle right now, you know, like be in the Congo and taking pictures of gorillas.
This is honestly more efficient if you think about it.
It's more practical.
Yeah, you got all of them in one day.
Yeah, he got like the big 5. All you needed was a water buffalo.
Maybe. I think like it's a shame that I don't think they have hippos. They the pandas weren't cooperating, because then I could have literally lions and tigers.
Wait.
It was just
pandas weren't cooperating. What's the story behind that?
They're sleeping, and they were not photogenically sleeping and posing. They were not performing for.
They just look like blobs.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but if I had had the pandas, I could have literally went lions and tigers and bears. Oh my.
Wow.
So, yeah, there's
better than going on safari.
It's more convenient than going on safari.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's better.
I'm kidding,
guys.
That's what I meant.
It's better.
For photographers.
But yeah, this was you know, I got to do some amazing stuff, and then the you know, I really got to put the camera and the lens through its paces. You know, Audrey got some great shots of me. And
I should have taken more. I only really remember because I was so focused on getting B-roll of you that was only towards the end. I was like, oh, I should probably try and get some Instagram shots too.
You around Saturday?
No.
Oh, you're leaving town tomorrow, right?
No, I'm back in LA now.
Oh, already? Wow.
Yeah, she's already back. Don't you see she doesn't have a swing in the back?
I got the.
Oh, well, like she was taking up the full frame, so I was like, I didn't get to really see. But yeah, no.
Yeah.
Nope.
I'm probably have one of my sisters do some photos of me with the camera stuff at the zoo if I go again this weekend.
So you were talking about your childhood dream.
Yeah. Well, one of them was to be a National Geographic, you know, photographer, filmmaker, and like, because I think every kid has that dream. But I was really into animals as a kid, guys. I think we've talked about this on the channel before. Is that I was really into animals. I had zoo books. I was all about that Steve Irwin life. I was like really into it. Jacques Cousteau. I was really into that stuff. I was like, oh, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll become a zoo veterinarian. Maybe I'll become a marine biologist. And that was like, oh, I could just take the photos. That'd be dope. I got into photography. Oh, I'll just take the photos. That's amazing. That's easy. You don't have to go to a fancy school for that. I could do that. And then, and then there was other childhood dreams. I wanted to be an animator, but I was poor, so I couldn't afford any of the software, hardware, because it was a different time. You guys are very lucky today. Any of you youngsters, 25 years ago, back in my day, everything was more expensive, and we gave up our childhood dreams because we were poor. And so, yeah, for real. Today, if I wanted to be an animator and I was a kid today, I could be 16 years old and be successful at it. I could be 16 years old and I could aspire to be like one of my favorite animators on YouTube is a kid named, I've actually coached him before, like Young Don the Sauce God. He is like the funniest. He is hilarious. He's like the second coming of Swoozy. It's like he's amazing. He is like the dopest dude and he's funny. He's got all these great childhood stories and he animates them. But about growing up in Jamaica and then coming to America and just all the good stuff, playing basketball, all his like stuff with girls. It's like he's like the second coming of Swoozy, but I think he's funnier. And so the point is like he literally is like the embodiment of like what might have been if I were born in a different time or if I wasn't limited by the technology of my time, because even when you're broke today, you could achieve a childhood dream like being a successful animator because one, there was no YouTube when we were growing up. So like there was no outlet to monetize it. You'd have to go work for a company, be told what to do, and probably never be given credit for anything you do. That's what, working for a lot of these corporations are as a creative person. That's what my corporate experience was very much like. Yeah. And so you couldn't, but now you can afford with like money you can make from a side hustle or even working at McDonald's, you can afford to save up for a computer, software. There's good free software. There's good cheap software. You can get everything you need. And now there's actually a way to get recognition and money for it in the form of animation on YouTube and TikTok and all these opportunities in Twitch. And so that wasn't around back then. But now you could do it. Even if you're a youngster or even if you're broke, you could absolutely do it. There's almost no limit to a childhood dream for a creative person anymore. There's almost nothing stopping you. And so now that I'm an adult, getting ready to turn 37, I'm actually finally circling back to some of my childhood hopes and dreams. And like now, even though I don't have all of the youth and like vigor of like, being hyper energetic like that, what I have is experience and resources and control over my time. So shooting my shot, quite literally.
Dang, that's cool. Romina, what about you? What's like one of your, have any of your childhood dreams like changed or evolved? I guess Roberto, yours did with the
and I crushed
the animal
it.
Thing into photographer.
When I was like 17, 18, I realized that I needed a career and a profession. I wanted to be creative. I didn't want to do a typical thing. I decided to be a graphic and web designer. And then I went to college for that community college, still poor. And then the company I wanted to work at after graduating, I got to work there off of a recommendation and a portfolio before I even graduated. So I just left college and just didn't finish and went to work for that. I decided that I wanted to work at an ad agency. And when I did that, I wanted to be in the magazines that I was seeing, Photoshop Creative. It changed from wanting to be in Nat Geo for my photography to wanting to be in Photoshop Creative and Advanced Photoshop for my artwork and design. And I did that. I even got on one of the covers. So I got published in those like 3 or 4 times before I was 25. And I got to work at an ad agency in my 20s. I got to have my stuff on billboards in Times Square for some of like the HBO boxing stuff that we did through the agency. I got to do the billboard stuff for the Lombardi documentary. They used some of the graphical treatment stuff I did for some HBO work. So my stuff got to be on TV. So I had my work on TV, check that box. I had my stuff on billboards and it was billboards in Times Square. Even before I went back to New York, when I lived in North Carolina, because one of the companies my boss owned was a real estate company. I actually did end up getting my design work on a billboard, but wasn't really anything that fancy. It was, but it was my photography for the model and it was my graphic design work. So my work and photography was on a billboard. And then I got to have the big one, the one in Times Square when I went to work for the agency. So I accomplished before 30 at the time what were all my professional like hopes and dreams, and surpassing my teachers and everyone who said I wouldn't make it. You know, I did all of that. I was still poor, by the way. Like I did all of that though before age 30, years and years ago, more than 10 years ago. So I won a couple of awards, and yeah, then I went on to be independent, and my life has been better since. And so I get to realize my real dream, being an entrepreneur. And now if I want to go back and circle back to any of my other childhood creative dreams, I have the means to do it now. So that's what happened to me.
That's cool.
Oh, and I'm not poor anymore.
Romina, what about you?
What about me?
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out if my thing is lagging.
It's not on this end.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think a lot of kids have some kind of affinity for animals. I was very much into animals when I was young. But not enough, I think. Like, I think maybe I wanted to be a veterinarian for like a week. Like literally, because I knew that I knew that I liked technology, and that I liked new like innovation. And so I was very much into computers when I was young. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was into cameras, and I was doing photography and stuff like that. And I started my own like little businesses and things like that when I was little. But I was never really thinking about what I wanted to be when I grew up, because I was just focused on doing what I could do at that moment. And so I just like I created stuff when I was little, just like making little businesses and like selling stuff on my street. And I think that I didn't really figure out, like in quotes, like what I wanted to be when I grew up, until I was, I think maybe 11 or 12 years old. And it was when everybody was required to take a theater class, a drama class. And so I had to get on stage, and then that's when I found out that I wanted to try the whole acting thing. And then I think between all of that, it was always going to be something with performance or entertainment or film or something. And so I kind of just got into that. I did a year, I was a music major for my freshman year. And then I realized that I wasn't going to do anything with that because I didn't want to be a music teacher. And so I switched over and I just did screenwriting. And so I did, I studied screenwriting at UCLA, and then I only did that as a means, not as a means to an end, like to be a screenwriter, but more so just to learn about the format of film and storytelling, which I could then use for producing, directing, acting, anything that I needed to. And so I feel like, as far as like my actual dreams, I think probably the only one that I kind of just let drop or that's changed has been the acting one, but not really, because I did that for over a decade. So it did happen.
Was there like a goal or like a goal post with it? Was it just that you wanted to do acting, or did you have like something in mind that you specifically dreamed of or envisioned with that?
See, no, I don't think there was really. I think the goal was just, I just wanted to act. Like, I just wanted to
for
be
some
in
people, it's that they
movies.
want to be the lead.
Right. I didn't care. I was
Okay.
I was just like, I just want
Because
to
like
be in
Jim
movies
Carrey
and-
wanted like his name to be like the
Right.
he wanted to be even just once. His thing was even just once
Yeah.
he wanted a leading role
Right.
in a comedy.
I mean, I did want that, but it wasn't like a goal, like all or nothing, or like my dream, you know?
Okay.
To me,
It's
it was
nothing that's
just
like it's a nice to have, but it wouldn't represent a regret.
right. I just wanted to act. I just wanted to be in front of the camera and be on a movie set. And so I just went out of my way to do it. So it was like, even if I had to be on the crew and if I could be on a movie set, then that was it. So I think that, and then I think like in my early to mid 20s, I established what my mission was in life and the purpose that I wanted to fulfill in my life. And I feel that it's general enough that any of my interests and skills and talents could be applied, and I would be accomplishing that mission. So
Yeah.
I think that I was kind of very general. I was definitely a generalist when I was a child because I just had a lot of opportunities to try a lot of different things. And I think that because of that, I just had a broad view of what the world was and what I could accomplish. And I didn't ever think that it would just be one thing.
I never wanted it to just be one thing. I think that's part of my whole live forever shtick is I just want to do everything. I just want to try everything. I just want to taste everything. Like, you know, even like as a kid, there was some other stuff I wanted. Like, I necessarily wanted to be a farmer, but it's like I'm actually good at growing things. I'm actually good with plants and animals. I think you guys have been to the house, you know that about me. But
Yeah, I actually have, or I guess I had. I don't know if I still.
I still
have
want
or
to do
not,
green
but
acres, though. I still want to own a farm.
I want to have a vineyard.
You want to
But
go
I
in
don't
on
know
it?
if I really
That's
do
cool.
want to have a vineyard.
Do you want to
But I
go in
also
on it? Do you want to go in on owning a vineyard? We don't have to actually.
Are we gonna
like, do the-
work on it?
Huh?
Yeah, we don't actually have to do the work on it.
Yeah, we'll just
Yeah.
own a vineyard. Like we'll just
Right.
do what Gary Vee did. We'll just buy a vineyard. Like
Right. Which is essentially what I would want. I want to just have like a place and then just like go there every once in a while and be like, oh yeah, I own a vineyard.
well, no, but I'm saying we'll do the whole thing. We'll get a vineyard and we'll
Right.
actually start and
and do the branding and like make it cool.
and do a wine
Yeah.
and like do our own wine. And then the thing is, like, I wouldn't be opposed to flipping that business. Like, I rarely want to
Right.
sell and flip anything, but that I could see flipping. Would you be
Right.
down for that?
Yeah, in the future.
Yeah,
Probably
let's do
not
it.
tomorrow.
No,
but,
obviously not
you know,
tomorrow.
I'm ready for this.
But
What
no,
would you guys
like
name it?
This is like
5-10
we'll-
years.
yeah, we'll figure it out. We've got 5 to 10 years to figure that out. I'm
Yeah.
down. If,
I'm down
if-
too.
if you
Like
wanna
I'm
do
down
it,
to
I'm
like. I
seriously
mean, I
down.
don't mind like scouting. Like I mean, doing research and scouting. Like
Right.
when
I mean,
the
I got
reopening
family out in
happens.
California and stuff.
Yeah,
and
no, it's
Yeah,
perfect.
we can. Yeah,
Same.
we can do
Yeah,
that. Or we could even go international.
that's a possibility.
Get a place in
That might be
Portugal.
cheaper in a way.
Yeah.
It might
Yeah.
be cheaper. Like
Audrey's laughing,
actually,
but she's
to
like,
be-
you
to
know,
be
when
real
I
with you-
invite
I
Audrey,
think
real
it's
with you,
cool. I'm just like, what?
if the situation with
This is
Cuba
we're coming
changes,
up
what do
with
you
a-
think of? Do you think that could be a possibility if the situation with Cuba changes?
It's going to definitely take a lot longer than 5 to 10 years for that. Even if it changed.
Really,
overnight,
even with this administration, you don't think?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's going to be a while.
all right.
It's going to be a while.
Actually, that's true. Biden's not as like lean on that as Obama was.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, for me, for my
Yeah.
benefit. Like,
We'll figure it out. We'll find another place.
sure. Yeah, no,
We'll
we'll go some like, you know, like crappy part of Paris, or we'll figure out California.
Right. Or Portugal. Yeah.
Portugal's an option. That's
Yeah.
actually not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. I mean, they're all about that.
But
I'm
yeah, no,
totally
we'll do-
down. I mean, that's definitely something that I wanted to. Also, llama, alpaca farm.
Interesting.
Can I be a part of that one?
Yes, Audrey. In 5 to 10 years,
Yay.
if
You know,
want to be an
horses are
investor.
actually not that expensive. Horses are not that expensive. My camera cost more than.
Well, my idea behind it was to make a farm, therapy animals. So have
You
alpacas
could do llama
that would
yoga.
specifically go
If you do that, and if you do therapeutic, and if you do comfort animals and things like that and everything like that, you could actually get some government money that could support a lot of that.
Have you guys seen Goat Yoga, Romina?
I have.
You can do that, but with llamas.
Right, exactly. I would set it up as like a retreat so that when the llamas aren't out like visiting nursing homes and like preschools and stuff like that. And we would breed the animals and train them to be therapy animals.
Oh, geez,
okay, I like this.
So, listen.
Yeah, I like this.
Like, that's a harsh circle of life right there. They're therapy animals, and then you eat them. Oh my god.
I mean,
waste
is
nothing.
that it is what it is.
We waste nothing.
What are we gonna do? It is what it is.
We waste nothing.
We waste nothing. Roberto's the cure.
Indeed.
Oh
So yeah, no, I like that. I did, by the way, not really, but it's like I made some progress on that lifelong childhood dream with the animation thing. I did do an animated short in college. It was literally like a 1-minute short, but I got to use Flash and I actually learned it sufficiently enough to do some level of animation. And so that was at least satisfying. I don't have it anymore, and there's like no, like, it doesn't exist in the world anywhere. But I did that. I did a webcomic while I was back in college too. That didn't really go far. I still have some of the webcomic like drawings and stuff like that, but I probably am still a better artist today. So like the thing is, I can always revisit those things because I still feel like at some point I want to do a comic book print that my audience can buy, of a story, a self-contained story, and I still want to do an animated short. But the thing is, at this point, I don't even have to animate it. I'm fine with if just my idea is animated at this point, and that I do the character design, concept sketching, and also write the script, and then I hire, because now I could afford to hire. If I wanted to do an animated short limited run series, it'd be a massive investment, but I could just pay an animator on the internet, pay somebody from the YouTube community or a group of animators and say, hey, I'm a dude with money and a dream of just making something really cool, and I'm willing to accept that there are more talented people to bring it to life than myself.
What did that say?
I'm trying to correct the spelling. It's not letting me.
When I was just getting into film, like professionally getting into film, one of the things that I had thought about was kind of diving into animation. And at that time, I started to play around with some programs that were available online. But at the time, it was only the main one that Pixar used.
What, Blender?
No, it wasn't Blender at the time. It was something else. I started to use, I did start to use Blender at one point, but before that, I was using like just free, like rinky dinky ones that like would put watermarks all over your stuff. Yeah, so it was, and I did some of that, and I had like a Wacom tablet, and so I actually drew some stuff and made short little animations, which also coincidentally at the same time, YouTube was available. And so I was posting some of those on there.
Oh, well, now you could make your own puppet rig with Adobe Character Animate pretty easily. And then you can just motion cap and make a talking head animation now.
I would like to know why Audrey wants to sacrifice the llamas.
It's just, we were talking about it earlier.
Wow.
You were talking about it.
You were so mad about the fact that we were going to eat the animals. Now you're talking about sacrificing them.
There's
a difference between sacrificing and extracting resource.
Yes.
Sacrificing implies that we're just killing for the sake of killing in order to honor something.
What? No, it's sacrificing for the cause of the cycle of life.
Audrey,
what dark gods are you sacrificing our llamas to?
You know, it all started because you said Firefox. Now she's in this rabbit hole of just darkness.
What? All right.
Like, what eldritch abomination was demanding llamas be sacrificed.
Oh my God! See, George gets it. This is exactly it.
Look at that. Those llamas
This
would
is
be
exactly
nourishing
my thinking.
emotionally and physically because they're therapy animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they would
So
feel
they are a
good.
much purer sacrifice
It's like
to
you
the
know
old
those
dark ones.
Oh,
you know what
my
they
God.
you know that they have like those like special meats where they
Yes, this
where
one
they
is.
claim that they've like played classical music and like the animals
Oh.
are like grass fed.
You know
what I'm
what?
talking about, like Kobe beef.
Ours
Yeah.
are
You know what?
very
You could actually just go ahead
Approved?
and you could
What?
sacrifice them for the cause of my ascension. Like, because we could do it. We could make this happen.
You know what we could do? We could put the names of them on the package. Once we package them.
Yeah, we say that they received a lot of love and they gave a lot of love.
Can you put their name on the packaging just to make it better?
Norbert the llama.
Oh my God. Imagine if they did
He
that
was
with all
sacrificed
animal
for the
meat. Everyone
cause.
would be vegan.
It was sacrificed for the cause, and the cause is me. Me.
Right.
That's how you turn everyone vegan. Start putting animal names on the packaging. I won't eat it anymore.
If we start putting the names of the livestock.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at
Yep.
that. Start a vlog. See, this would be great. See, the
Oh,
great
actually,
thing about,
no. You turn a farm. You can get the farm to pay for itself by turning it into a content house.
That's
for
what I
real.
was gonna say right now. If we're gonna buy this vineyard, we might as well turn it into some kind of content, either through a documentary,
But I
YouTube
literally
video,
feel
whatever
that like
it
the
is.
24 hour,
It's
like I think you could get away with like different animal 24-hour live streams, but also okay, here's the thing. Like I would also get a lot of just regular animals. Like if you get like a bunch of sheepdogs as puppies, especially when you get them as puppies, right? You get a bunch of like the sheepdogs and like the dogs for the farm as puppies, but you film a bunch of footage and it's just something like 8 hours of puppies playing, and you post like not 8 hours, like that's a loop, that's a lot, but it's like you post these like palate cleanser videos where it's like you just have like 8 minutes of puppies being puppies, and people will be like, oh, I just need oh my God, something horrible happened to the day, oh, I'm just going to this.
All
And
right. Okay.
You see what I'm
Jake of all trades in the chat says, I have a horse and 5 chickens on my vineyard. Who would watch that live stream? Everybody would.
Everybody. But here's the thing. It's like if you have horses, you have to get like baby foals, and you have to like, and then you have to make a video that says 5 minutes of baby horses that will make you cry. And then it's like, and
They're just sitting there eating grass.
and you will.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter because they're so cute.
Years because you'll be
Right.
like, that's
It's
just so
gonna
wholesome.
trigger. Yeah, it's gonna trigger an emotional response
Like, I
regardless
would just
of how
name-
you feel.
Like I would like, like
See,
I
your
would
first
literally probably
viewer.
name my YouTube channel and everything like that as Welcome to My Wholesome Farm. Like I would probably name it like Welcome to My Wholesome Farm. And it's literally like all I would do is post these videos of like, enjoy these baby horses for 5 minutes. And that would be the title of the video. Enjoy these baby horses for 5 minutes and everything like that. It's like, and then I would have the dogs. It's like 5 minutes of puppies playing for your amusement. And that would literally be the title of the video. And like people would share it. It'd be shared all over every Reddit community where people struggle with depression. It'd be posted all over everything and stuff like that. I would literally have also, because I have this farm and I have all the space, the indoors, I would then do the indoors. I would have a terrarium, I would have aquarium stuff, and I would literally just have all these interesting
It would be
pieces.
a content farm. It would literally
It'd be a content farm.
farm.
It'd be like, it'd be like a legit content farm. And so you could do some live streams, sure. But I literally could just, now that I have these turtles, I could literally just have the videos like, and I could
Wait, when did you mention you had turtles?
because terrarium and aquarium. Remember I said I was got inside I'll have all these aquarium and terrariums.
All right, but I didn't know there were going to be turtles, man.
There'll be turtles, there'll be lizards, there'll be like this.
Okay.
I have an ant farm, and I can literally, I bet you the ant farm could be live streamed 24/7 and would get like subscribers and everything.
Sure.
Swear to God.
Yeah.
Romina, check the chat.
Like, guys,
All
we
right,
could
I
just
will.
buy a farm and make a fortune.
Yeah. Andy San in the chat says It's hard for people to eat animals with visible eyebrows. Think about it.
Mm.
Can you check the chat? I posted
I'm getting-
a relevant photo.
All right, I'm getting
To
there. I'm
that.
getting there. All right, what is this? Pinterest?
How did we get
my
here?
God.
We still need to
Oh,
know your childhood dream.
Oh, I wanted to be an astronaut, so that's out the door.
Are you sure?
Wow.
Well, okay,
I mean, you
wanted to be
can.
an
What it means to
astronaut
be an
just-
astronaut is
Because
different
now you can get on one
That's
of those
before I
commercial
realized.
flights.
It's true. It has eyebrows.
Yeah, this llama has eyebrows. Some people might have
that
a
llama.
Oh.
Actually, his hairdo and his expression legit looks like one of my former coworkers back in the day. I'm not even joking.
Oh.
Well, I hope they're
Dang.
not listening,
Yeah.
or I hope they
No.
are.
You're like, how dare you? You're like, I wasn't
There's
talking
definitely-
about you.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely people who look like this. This is definitely a face I've seen walking down the street before
Yeah.
with 2 legs. All right, so let's go back to astronaut talk.
Okay. I wanted to be an astronaut before I knew that you had to actually do things like science related. I just wanted to go up and like hang out and then come back.
And now you
But
can
that's-
because
And
you
now
just
you
have to be rich.
That's true. So maybe when I'm 80, I'll do it. You know. That'd
I
be
think it's
fun.
going to be sooner.
No,
I have
you can do
plans-
it. You probably by the time you're 35.
Yeah, I'm thinking that when I'm 60, I'm going to be able to go to space whenever I want. That's my plan. Oh, Juanfer has no respect for the eyebrows, man.
Oh my god, that did not convince him. Yeah, so astronaut was the first one, and then after that, it was artist, just like plain and simple, because I didn't know what medium I liked.
Mm.
So I
Did
just
you
said
paint at all?
artist. I
Have you
mean,
ever
I
painted?
tried, but I was never really good at like.
How much
I was
time
okay.
did you
I
put
was
into?
decent.
How much time did you put into painting, Audrey?
I didn't really paint. I just like doodled random stuff. Like I was never super into it. I just enjoyed like art in school and stuff.
Same. But I was
but
super
then-
into it.
When I got a camera, I was like, oh, this is it. Like that's when it kind of clicked.
Ah.
But I didn't really even think about. I don't know. I kind of ditched the artist thing because I think I was told when I was younger that that's not like a real job.
Oh God.
So I literally ditched because
Who said
I don't
that?
know how
I'll
else
cut 'em.
childhood me would have like got rid
I'll
of that.
cut 'em.
There's literally
I
this
will
one
literally
like
cut
thing-
him.
Yeah,
There's
just
this one thing at
tell
my
us who he
parents'
is.
house. I don't know. It probably wasn't one person.
Roberto and I
It's
are going to
probably
show
just
up on his door.
general.
Like like Romina, we have to
With
go rent a
masks
black
on,
van.
of course.
We have to go
With
rent
masks.
a black van. We have to go rent a black van. We might need some guys.
We might need some guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm little, but I can take him.
I can reach
Just
out
get
to
him.
the
Just get
enclave
me
back in
angry
Brooklyn.
enough. Just get me
Just give
angry
me a
enough.
camera.
Look, I'll reach out to some homies back in Brooklyn.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I've seen Roberto like pull out an axe before. He freaking
What?
Well,
Yeah,
we were
remember
camping.
that-
We were
remember that
there.
time-
You were there.
Audrey. Don't you remember? All right,
There's
guys.
Johnny.
We were in the camp. We were next to the
Wait, what?
campfire, and we suddenly saw something out of like the corner of our eye, and Roberto just stands up, like quickest reflexes I've ever seen. He stands up, grabs the chair that he was sitting on, this tiny little camping chair, and he just like flips it to the back so that the pointy legs were pointing away from him, and he's just like ready to attack whatever was like lurking in the shadows. It ended up being like some plastic bag or something like that. I think like it was just like a weird reflect, but it was so funny because Roberto was just like he was ready. Yeah, he was
Let's
ready
go.
to like attack. Yeah, he's
Let's
like
go.
bear, chipmunk. I don't care.
Yeah, it's like I had my like freaking chair with the pointy legs, and I had my freaking woodsman axe.
Yeah, he
ready
had
to
like
go.
the axe that he bought. Where was it that we bought it? It was like some grocery store, wasn't it? It was like just a.
Was it, or was it at the thing at where you at the campground?
Oh, yeah, I think it might have been there. Yeah. Where it was like we got our last minute supplies at the little shop before heading to the campground.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was.
that's like
that
I was just like, let's go.
I
Let's
freaking
go.
laugh. I
I'm a
think
little
about that.
concerned at how eager you were to go for whatever that was.
Oh yeah, it was so funny because like all of us just like stayed sitting, and we're like, "What was that?" But Roberto was like, "I got my chair, I got the axe.
I'm gonna kill it. Whatever it is, I'm gonna kill it."
Like, what is he gonna do with that? You know, like if it was like some giant bear, like
let's go. Let's go.
Roberto was ready, man. Yeah.
I was like, hey, wrong campsite.
And you know what's funny about that is
Wrong
that
one.
was like way out. Like, you know, we were doing the whole wilderness thing. You got the whole axe and everything, and you were ready to protect us from the bear or whatever it was, the plastic bag. But then, like the night before or like the night after, we were watching the Paul fight. We were watching the boxing match on our phones, like
in the woods.
In the woods, because we still had signal.
Yeah, Logan Paul versus KSI.
Yeah, it was Logan Paul versus
part 2.
Yeah, it was part 2.
Part 2, the sequel.
Yeah, that was a really great experience. The juxtaposition between the wilderness and just watching a YouTuber and his boxing fight.
Yeah, but like Woodsman Roberto was ready to go.
Yeah, Woodsman Roberto was like he got the axe, you know. Yeah, so just tell us where he is. Just tell us where he is.
It's like I've just flipped Roberto to attack position.
Yeah, man, it was so freaking quick. Oh, but Audrey, so you gave up on your astronaut dream.
Yeah, well, that one was my own decision because I don't like science. So
yes, but now you can go into space commercially. You can just fly commercial.
But okay, and so then the artist thing I dropped because society told me it was a bad idea. I don't think it was a specific person. I think it was just the vibe I was getting from the world.
Funny, because you were born into the era where it's actually the most viable that it's ever been to be an artist.
Right.
Got people getting $1 million NFTs going now.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so there's literally this thing at my parents' house where we had to, I think I was probably in like first grade, and we had to write like what we wanted to be when we got older. And so all of my like classmates like wrote what they wanted to be, like scientist, astronaut, whatever. Mine literally says like, Audrey is refusing to answer this question and will come up with an answer once her undergrad degree is completed. And I'm just like, I must have annoyed the teacher so badly that she just gave up asking me what I wanted to do and just put that as my answer. Like everyone else has like generic answers and it's just blank, basically. But I never had another idea for what I wanted to do besides like environmental science and zoology. But I also was hesitant because I hate anything to do with medicine. So I was like...
anything that requires me having to do too much freaking academia.
Oh my god, hold on.
Fire alarm?
Wow. Well, I guess Audrey's house is burning down. Well, she is Audrey Ember.
Audrey. Firefox.
Firefox Ember. She's just popping in. All right. Well, I still have this llama open on my screen. So this is all right. Let's stop this.
But it's interesting that both me and Audrey were like super into the zoology stuff, but it's just it's too difficult.
Yeah.
But
for
the thing is, we can experience some of that stuff now that we're older. There's aspects of it we can do.
I think my mom actually was the one who discouraged me from it.
From what?
From like veterinarian stuff, I think.
Oh, shit.
In a way. And I think it was because, she was just very honest with me and telling me like, you're going to have to deal with animals dying. And I was like, oh, yeah, that doesn't sound as fun.
No. Yeah, no, that's one of those I can't take the bad with the good kind of scenarios.
Right. I was also probably like 7, who knows, right? So that's also like,
I was like an environmental nut as a kid.
I still have dreams of being an astronaut. I still want to go to space. Like that's
I'm still
like
going to end up pursuing animation, and I'm going to end up producing. It'll cost me a crap ton of money, but I'm going to basically produce a short run anime series, probably 12 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason for us to
They're just
not
gonna throw
do
money
it,
at
you know? Yeah, exactly. All you need with money, you can do anything you want to do.
Basically.
With money and time, right?
Yes, with money and time.
And energy and good health.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, so
All
wear your
those
masks. So basically, if it like I actually went to space camp for a summer, and it was here in Florida, and it was cool. It was like we were at this camp, and like we went to the planetarium, and we learned about like the stars and all that stuff. So it was cool. I would definitely love to go to space, and as soon as I get the opportunity to, as soon as it's commercialized, and
I
you
can
know, I'll
see
go to
you
space.
absolutely. There's no way I can imagine you not doing that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna take Audrey with me.
Yes, I'm down.
And then
we're gonna do the podcast from space.
We're gonna do episode
Whoa.
253 in
Oh my
space.
God. That would actually be really. We should be the first podcast in space.
Mr. Beast will be this. No, he'll be the first YouTuber in space. I guarantee you, he'll be the first YouTuber in space. I guarantee you, he's working out the logistics of being the first YouTuber in space. But podcast, we can do.
You don't think that there would be some of the science channels? Like
No.
Simone? You don't think that Simone would like?
I imagined initially she would be the first one.
I mean, if we can just say
But I
like NARP in
guarantee you-
space.
If I could, like, that's actually who I'd love to be an interview for us for the podcast, like collectively, not just for like my channel, but like I would love for Simone Yurts is one of my top 20 favorite content creators. I think she's massively underrated. I think that she doesn't get nearly enough credit for what she's done in the space, and I think she's one of the, in my opinion, top tier content creators. Not even one of the top tier female content creators, just one of the top tier content creators. And I think she's massively underrated. I think that a lot of people get a lot more like clout than without being nearly as deserving.
Andy San in the chat came up with a title for Mr. Beast's video. Last to leave Earth gets it, basically.
What?
And George in the chat said, "Hate to be that guy, but there's already been a space podcast."
Is he trolling and meaning that there's been like space topic podcasts?
Like I'm talking about going into space.
Recorded in space.
Has there been a space podcast, George? Please clarify.
Like, has there been a podcast in
literally
space?
Recorded in space? What about like the space station
and NASA?
Like
yeah, what
ISS?
if there's like NASA astronauts?
Yeah, what if they're like doing all that? Oh, maybe there have been, because I know they tweet sometimes from space.
Yeah, but
I mean,
is it
I
like
don't
a
know.
dedicated podcast episode, or is it just clips of them talking?
But it's also different because they're a science. They would be a science podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little different. We're talking about like entertainment, like just your regular Joes going to space and recording an episode.
Regular Joes.
Yeah, does the Mars rover have its own podcast?
I'm not sure.
I
but
mean, it's possible.
But it's about that time, and we need to let everyone know why we've switched times on them.
Isn't there a place where you can experience astronaut training? Yes,
that's
there
where
is.
Simone went. Yeah, for the waitlist thing, the waitlist video.
There's a few. I mean, you can do it like as a kid, like doing the space camp thing, like what I did. But then there's also, you can do it as an adult too, even if you aren't doing.
I wanted to go to space camp as a kid.
Yeah. Anyway, so time switch. The reason that we switched the time. Before we go into that, leave us a review, 5 stars, please, because we're the best. But essentially, we're looking out for our buddy Vipe. Roberto, do you want to tell us more about it? Because
you're doing a good job.
Well, I only found out about it today.
Well, Viper, our friend Viper, 3 Ys, look him up in social. The man about tech. He is partnering with our friends over at vidIQ, and he's hosting a clubhouse room, talking about being a content creator. He's giving the perspective and his experience of being a creator for over 3 years, 5,000 subs, and helping smaller channels on the come up. He's been the beneficiary of some great advice, and he's talked to the biggest YouTubers in the game, not just everyone on this panel, but also great creators like Renee Ritchie, Marquez Brownlee, Justine, Jonathan Morrison, Your Average Consumer, like so many others. And he's just great, and he has the best energy and the best spirit. And so I'm glad that he partnered with vidIQ, is now being sponsored by him. So he's got his first brand deal as a small content creator, and it's with one of the companies that supports creators the most, vidIQ. So I'm happy that they're working with him and that he's hosting this and that it's phenomenal. And it's going to be every week at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursdays. Now, we love Viper, and we want to also participate in those clubhouse rooms when we can. And we want to promote him and show him some support and some love as a fellow creator and just a friend of ours and as a smaller influencer. And we decided that even though we don't have like the most overwhelmingly large audience in the world, that we don't want to like create a conflict where people have to choose between two events. So we'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time going forward, which means Roberto will have to get his stuff done earlier in the day.
Yeah, or you can switch one of your tasks to after.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah, so that means that from here on out until further notice, we're going to be doing the podcast every Thursday at youtube.com/noassembly. What is it? No Assembly Pod or No Assembly? It's No Assembly.
No
Pod.
Assembly Pod. Everything's No Assembly Pod.
Yeah. So youtube.com.
We have consistent
branding.
Pod. No, we actually have consistent branding.
And we'll be doing that every Thursday at 7 p.m. ish Eastern Standard Time until further notice.
Until further notice.
Because we're cool like that.
Because we like that.
Yeah. Now, I think that it's important to kind of just end things on a positive note.
That wasn't a positive note?
No, it was a positive note, but I'm just saying in a more positive note because we're talking about childhood dreams and like childhood dreams like changing and stuff like that. Some people might look at that as kind of like a downer a little bit.
I thought we established that we actually mostly either fulfilled our childhood dreams or...
Oh, yeah. Well, we did. But for some people, they changed because...
I still got work to do.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah,
You're
Audrey's
still considerably younger than both of us. Child.
Oh, don't call her that. Don't call her that. Whoa. Don't you remember what it's like to be young, Roberto?
Yes.
They don't like to be called children.
I'll take it if I can just get 10 years back.
Wow. All right. My point is that even if you aren't doing what you dreamed you would be doing as a child, maybe you are better off. Maybe you are doing something that is going to lead you to fulfill that childhood dream. In Roberto's case, that is exactly what's happening. The childhood dreams that he hasn't fulfilled, he's currently on the path to fulfill them at some point, because he took a different path that led him to fulfill those dreams. And I think that's kind of the case for all of us. I mean,
I also
Audrey.
wanted to be a zebra when I was little, so that's.
Did you say a zebra? A zebra, like the animal.
Yep.
All right, I'll have to.
Well, I guess there goes my speech. I was like over here giving a TED talk.
I'll invent. Fine, you've twisted my hand. I will invent the. I'll invent the Animorphs morphing technology just for you.
This is why maybe them changing, evolving
Audrey,
is a bad thing. You know,
Audrey, you know that zebras
trying
aren't.
to tie it back into your spiel, and
You know, Audrey, you know that zebras aren't good at coloring books, right? Because they don't like to stay between the lions.
I'm just gonna go.
Wow, she literally turned off her camera. All right, guys. You know, I mean, I'm trying to bring in the jokes here. I'm the humor. What was that noise? I want that to be recorded. I want to bring that back.
All right.
All right.
Send me sounds and I'll make a soundboard.
Oh, I can make sounds. Roberto, have you seen my video of me making animal sounds?
Oh
yes.
My god, we need that whole thing on the soundboard.
I don't know. That's a bit
You can
much.
just take clips from that. Oh, wow. Yep.
Oh my god.
Jake
that is
wants to morph into a
incredible.
therapy llama. You know, y'all are laughing at me, but in 10 years, when I have $1 billion industry out of therapy llamas, who's gonna be laughing?
I will, because
Definitely me.
I will be I'll be the one laughing because you'll be leaving it to me as your beneficiary.
What, leaving it? Where am I going?
I don't like this.
Is that a threat? Is that a threat?
No, it's just to remember, I intend to live forever. Look, I intend to live forever. Like, you know, like I'm almost done designing my Horcruxes. I mean,
Wow.
I ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, that's right. You're gonna live until 230.
Something like that.
Wow.
I might just extend that to forever. I mean, like I said, I have the designs for the Horcruxes at this point. You might as well. I mean, you know.
You Cairo sleep.
What's that?
I've thought about it.
If you had
sleep? All right, guys, maybe that's something for the next episode, is if you had the opportunity to be put to sleep and be woken up 100 years from now.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
No.
Well, I guess then we're not going to talk about it.
It's really easy. It's the simplest get rich quick scheme there ever was, and everything like that. You do that vampire life. Vampires have the best business model and financial savvy in the world. You get some decent
I have
investments.
a story about that. I have a story about that, Roberto.
You get some real estate. You put a little bit of money
life?
away. You put a little bit of money away in the stock market. You leave it to yourself under your assumed identity as a beneficiary, and then you just hop into your coffin.
We're going to talk about this.
What if they mess up your coffin?
Guys.
No, it's not just your coffin. It's your whole crypt. You're a vampire. You have an actual
Jake,
crypt.
It's done. The spoiler has been... It's done.
Yeah, we'll do this next week, but like, yeah, but yeah, I'm totally down for the Rip Van Winkle. You realize what my stocks will be worth in 100 years? Are you kidding me?
I have a story about this.
Yeah. You don't wake up.
Well, that's that. Like, and then I just like take over the afterlife and rule over that as emperor.
All right.
Okay. Do you have an outro for us?
Sure.
Sure. It's a little. Okay. Is that a yes?
Yeah. Roberto Van Winkle. Yeah. Okay. We can do that.
All right.
No, if all of y'all leave and I really do get to reign supreme over Earth, I'll turn it into a freaking paradise, a Garden of Eden. And then when y'all try to crawl back and everything like that, I'm going to charge y'all triple rent. Anyway, time for the outro. Thank you for listening to the No Assembly Required podcast, a podcast where we talk about nothing. Tune in next week when we will have a robust conversation about pulling a Rip Van Winkle for 100 years and see how that goes. Spoiler alert, my stocks will be doing phenomenal. Anyway, this has been your trio of hosts signing off, starting with Audrey, don't call her Firefox Ember, Romina, Therapy Llama Mama, and, of course, your Dark Lord of the Internet, here to usher you into 1,000 years of darkness, and you know you want this, Roberto Blake, the cure for all things. Thank you for listening. We will catch you next week. Remember, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Thursday until the end of time. Have a good evening. No audience members were harmed in the filming of this podcast. Nope.